Hello, and welcome to episode 34 of the What If South is Up podcast, where we talk about the ups and downs of creating worlds from scratch and all the misadventures we experience along the way. In a nutshell, how to wing it like an author. My name is Christina X. Dina Lefebvre, and I'm in the middle of building my first world, a magical parallel Earth where colonization never happened in the Americas, and reworking my first novel with a working title, Cogs and Claws. It's a nature futurisms novel, and here with me, as always, is my rock-steady co-host, Derek Hall.
Hey everybody, I'm Derek Hall, author and creator of the Crimson Prophecy series, a new adult fantasy, as well as the Horizon Gamelet world, currently with one entry entitled 10 Levels Down.
All right, so today we have another special guest. I mean, geez, Derek, it's weird. We have friends.
I know, it's awkward. People actually like it.
They do. They want to. This is so exciting. Anyway, so life is good. Derek and I know this fine writer as a member of the crit group that we are currently active in. So everyone, please say hello to Mr. E.R. Donaldson. So, hi, Eric.
Hey, how's everybody doing tonight?
There you are. Would you care to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So first off, in my day life, I'm a pharmacist by training who's found a career in an equal mix of healthcare, government bureaucracy, and corporate shenanigans. So that has definitely inspired a lot of my fiction work. When I'm not working, which is scarcer and scarcer time these days, I'm father to 3 kids. My middle child just turned 3 today. I got another one. My oldest son is going to turn 5 next month. And then the queen of the household, my daughter, is about 18, 19 months now. So after that, I stay busy with writing and other things. But, you know, we just try to squeeze this time in when we can.
Yeah, so what's it like living in a zoo?
You know, it's a surprising amount of violence. You know, it's that, you know,
I can imagine.
The free range gentle parenting and 2 boys, you know, it's that I gave them foam swords and expected them not to use them against each other, so they decided to use them against me. So that's kind of how I'm parenting these days.
Yeah. Freedom is used for evil among the toddler crowd.
Yeah, they're sweet though, you know, honestly.
Oh, I know. I'm just picking fun, but still. I have one, and I can't imagine having 3.
Well, yeah, I have a friend that has like 5 kids, and he says the first changes your life. The second, it's like having not even a second one. It's like having, nothing changes. The third, suddenly they outnumber you. And so I always thought that was funny.
You're out of hands. What are you supposed to do now?
Yeah, zone defense, you know, and it's just so funny because they become more assertive with each one because they look up to their sibling and go, yeah, I could take him.
Right.
And then as a parent, you're obligated to reinforce that because it's don't hit your little brother, don't hit your little sister. And they walk away from that encounter going, yeah, I just won. Level up.
No kidding. Oh, that's great. Kids are awesome. So tell us a little bit about your writing life, your style, your processes, that sort of thing. Is there anything special that you do that might be interesting?
Yeah, sure. I can provide kind of a brief background on my work. You know, I've started writing in earnest in 2017, wrote pretty casual before then, but, you know, doing things like actually completing the stories you're writing on and studying story structure, proper grammar, things like that really didn't happen until after I finished my MBA in 2017. And that was before I had children. And all of a sudden, I found that I had oodles of time on my hands after work was done, and the wife and I were too tired to do anything in the afternoon. So I took up writing, and I've always been like a big video gamer, you know, complete sci-fi nerd, you know, into real big worlds and real big stories. So I've always had these kind of rolling universes that I've kept little journals, if you would, notebooks, binders, that I was like, yeah, I'm a hobbyist programmer, for example. I was like, maybe I'll program a game for this one day, or, maybe I'll draw a comic or do something. Well, so, 2017 comes around and I'm looking to do something different. And I'm like, all right, I have this world that I've kind of been noodling on for a few years. I'm going to go ahead and write a story in this. And went ahead, wrote my first novel, and it was terrible. And tried to edit the first novel and realized you can't edit out terrible. So by then I had, learned a lot of the story structure things and went back and re-looked at it. I completed my first novel series back, I believe it was a couple years ago now. I think it ended in 2022. I've done some additional serial work through a app called Mithril Fiction. And right now I'm kind of looking at my next big creative projects and focusing on the publishing aspect going into this year, doing some relaunches and correcting a lot of the mistakes I made on my journey along the way.
Fair
Wow,
enough.
that's busy. Wow. Uh, we're all of us writers are busy, all of us. But
Yeah, no
it's
kidding.
nice. It's nice to hear when people actually complete things. So,
Yeah, no, I really could not do it without spousal support here. But no, it's it's a tough thing. Like you have to fall in love with it, and I mean that's one thing about my process too, right? Is it becomes this family project. Like all my kids know I'm writing, and it's that they'll be like, "Daddy, play with us," and my wife will look at me and go, "No, Daddy's going to go write." And the expectation is I'm going to come out with something to read tonight, and I'm reading it not to my children. My work isn't children appropriate, but my wife's kind of my alpha listener. She doesn't read my work, but she does listen to me go through a first pass with her, and makes it a team effort. I've got
Hmm.
lots of pictures cataloged where it's like, okay, kids are on my lap, where it's like, hey, I just finished the manuscript, or the new print copy came in today, so it's been very exciting.
Yeah.
so we want you to pick one of your current work in progresses, one of your current whips. Tell us a little bit about that world, so that our listeners know what world you'll be playing our game in later. So, what's your story world like? How's it different? How's it cool?
Okay, I was kind of torn between my two worlds for this question here, but I'm gonna go with the one that I'm actively writing on right now, and that's my Dark Council's Blade series. So this is a urban fantasy, more emphasis on action adventure. I feel like I always need to clarify that when I mention that there's the vampire as a main character. Think less Twilight, more underworld, when you think of this universe. But the core principle here is that in order to minimize persecution, the vampires self-regulate a little bit like pharma does now. They set their own rules, they take out their own bad actors, and that way and through alliances with national entities and faith-based entities like the Catholic Church and others. They maintain a secret existence and pretty much can do as they will within in the rules. Well, the story is written from the perspective of the guy that goes in and enforces the rules and takes out the bad actors. So he's basically a vampire hunter who is a self-loathing vampire. So that's kind of the basis in a nutshell. As with most stories, it takes off in different directions, explores different mythologies. One of my favorite things is to pull in real myths, especially from various sources, a lot of folklore, and try to incorporate it in loose ways to drive the plot forward. So you're ending up with kind of a collective, eclectic, uh, mythological and religious work, alongside a lot of the tropes you kind of know and love if you're into urban fantasy.
Awesome.
Yeah, spectacular.
That actually sounds really interesting. I'm getting a little bit of Underworld, a little bit of Blade, and I like it.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's kind of the inception here. Like I'm a big fan of like Marvel's Midnight Suns, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, looking at the supernatural superheroes and kind of coming up, okay, what if you were going to have a rogues gallery, recurring villains, a grander mythos you had to play in? Well, I do a little bit of art, but doing a full-fledged comic book's not in my skill set. So I
Right.
decided that novel. and ended up being a serial. We've done 2 seasons so far. I'm about halfway through season 3. I kind of thought I had wrapped season 3 up, but it was running a little short, and I decided, no, we're just going to keep this rolling and kind of plow through to the conclusion of the serial. So instead of being the short volume 3 is going to be the longest one in the capstone of the project.
Nice. Well, what's one thing in your world that you're particularly proud of that you dreamt up?
So I've really liked the informal alliance between the Dark Council, which is essentially the governing body of the vampires, and the Catholic Church, because you take two entities that have nothing in common, and you get to play a lot with the trope of making a deal with the devil, or better the devil, and seeing how that plays out. The other nice thing is that I've gotten to, again, I talked earlier about integrating a lot of mythological references for the creatures. I try not to just make anything up just randomly, and at least for the first novel, and then currently in the third, drawing on lesser known primarily Judaic and Middle Eastern legends, and then kind of interweaving them in this pseudo bond with the Judeo-Christian mythos of the modern day. And then throwing that up against, again, the underworld kind of pulpy universal monsters feel for urban fantasy that we're all pretty used to.
Yeah. That's a really unique angle to take on that.
Yeah, I mean, it was. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that this is one guest that we won't have any problem with having them say things. Thank you.
Is that the gentle way of saying that I'm over?
That does not mean stop talking. No, you're doing great.
No, you're doing awesome. Most of the time
You
we
were
have to
worried.
really push people to talk. So you're doing great.
No, you're doing great.
Well, I spend some time with politicians, so I know how to suck the air out of the room.
Well,
So let's move on. So, Mr. Derek, what are you drinking today?
Nothing particularly Peter Pepper, pickle peppers. Nothing particularly special. I have cherry Pepsi with bourbon.
I have bourbon too.
Ironically, smells like bananas.
It smells like bananas.
It smells like bananas, like the Banana Runts candy.
Yeah.
It smells like bananas, and I don't know why, because it tastes nothing like bananas.
Yeah, I would not have figured that.
Yeah, it's weird, but it tastes good.
The date on the Pepsi?
It's fine.
It's fine.
I don't know.
So
where do they hide the dates on these?
I'm drinking. I think I've drank this before. It's just I don't know, a maple bourbon, cream, hot toddy-ish kind of thing. So, so maple bourbon cream and other things make it nice and hot because it's really cold here tonight. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And
you're getting that Arctic blast now.
I think it's leaving. We got rain coming in on Thursday. So
well, then we're getting what you just had.
Yeah. Eric, what are you drinking? Anything interesting?
I'm a teetotaler tonight. I'm drinking kombucha, lavender melon kombucha.
Well,
yeah.
At least it's not boring.
Yeah, no, it's not water or anything like that. But no, that's it's a fermented drink that little sweeter, but still kind of has that fermented bite and carbonation that I like.
Fair enough. All right. So, Xtina,
it sounds good. we can hear it.
Note to self, mute when I'm taking a swig here.
Oh, you're good. Everybody knows we have drinks. It's fine.
Yep, it's what we do.
So, Xtina, what have you been reading or watching since our last episode?
I actually got sidetracked by a new non-book project. I have a programmer friend that wants me to help build a specific type of website app kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of super secret at the moment, and it's tarot related. So
Hmm.
it's I've been doing some studying about that, and working on a business plan and some other things. Um, and I'm still eagerly awaiting that diagnosis for my sleep study a little over a week ago. And for those that don't know, any new listeners, the goal is to get my narcolepsy treated so I can start reading again without falling asleep after 7 minutes. So, um, I haven't been reading. And as far as watching, um, nothing too terribly interesting. I mean, not really. I did go see Aquaman 2 since our last episode. Yeah. It
Yeah.
was it was fun. I mean, the storytelling fell a little short.
That's
Um,
cool.
yeah, but at least Momoa did a better job acting this time. So, you know,
The
it was
question, was he acting or was the character closer to who he actually is? That is the
I
question.
That's a
you
valid
are
point.
no, the character is exactly who he is. So, but he brought it out, so that's
It's
Yeah,
like
fine.
Nicolas
Yeah.
Cage only plays Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
I have still not seen the unbearable weight of massive talent.
Oh my god. That movie is hilarious. I absolutely died. So
What is
good.
it?
The unbearable weight of massive talent. It's Nicolas Cage playing Nicolas Cage, and he gets hired by like a billionaire to go to this dude's birthday party. And it's it's funny. It's really funny.
Well, I might
In
put
a
it on my
dry
list.
Nicolas Cage sort of way.
Yeah.
uh
So, what about you, Eric? Anything interesting?
I've been spending a lot of time gaming lately, but the downside is that a lot of that gaming time is with my boys. Not I don't mean that the way it sounds. I love playing those games, but it's like you don't get those real story driven games. Like the most story driven game I played right now is Super Mario Wonder. In front of them, I am slowly working my way through a Metroidvania called The Last Faith, which is pretty good. It's really, you can tell it definitely has influences from Blasphemous. I don't know if you guys have played those games.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, Blasphemous and Blasphemous 2. It's like they took that and they're like, okay, let's make this a little less of a, you know, Dark Souls combat kind of situation, trying to pull in
Yeah.
some of the Castlevania elements, because that's really what it feels like. But the result is a difficulty that I just don't seem to be able to get through by sheer force of will, like I could with the Blasphemous game. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
picking it apart very slowly. Um, as
Yeah.
far as, go ahead.
Now, and anybody that tells me, "Oh, you should play this. It's a Souls like," I'm like, "Nope." I don't do well with that. But and platformers have always been a struggle for me.
Yeah, I don't like the 3D ones. I do like the 2D ones. I just kind of got a kick for retro gaming about a year or two back, and
Oh yeah.
I think it was Hollow Knight that did it to me. It was on sale, and then I'm like, okay, I love this game. Now I
Yep.
need more games like this. And
Shovel
then,
Knight pulled me back in to retro stuff.
oh yeah,
Yep.
So this his response, Eric, your response makes me think we should actually retool our question, because this question is about how are you consuming story right now. It doesn't have to be just reading or watching movies. It could be gaming, or it could
Yeah.
be any. It could be listening to something. So maybe we're going to retool our question. Thank you, Eric.
Oh,
yeah,
that's a
yeah.
good point.
No, and if I didn't fully answer, the book that I'm actually listening to, not reading to right now, is The Last Shadow by Orson Scott Card, which is kind of the capstone to the Ender's Game and its
Oh,
companion Ender's Shadow series. It's the one where he finally pulls those two lines together, and as far as I
yep.
can tell, it's the last one in the series. So I put it off for a while, but I finally got around to listening to it this last couple weeks.
That entire series is an absolute masterpiece, and I love every word of it.
Yeah, no, one of my favorite. I think Ender's Game is probably my favorite book, period, of all time. So
Mm. Well, that's an interesting take. I love Ender's Game, but I actually enjoy the Shadow series more than Ender's End. I like following Bean.
I liked the Shadow series as a whole. I actually did not
Mm-hmm.
like Ender's Shadow.
That's
Um,
true.
I liked everything that came after that. And I like it as a unit. But as far as like if I had to pick one standalone in there, like Ender's Game, the original, just
Mm-hmm.
did it for me, hit it exactly right. But I definitely like the Shadow series better, and I liked kind of the mainline Ender books that came
That's
after
fair.
that, Speaker for the Dead, and through what was it, Children of the Mind, then Xenocide. I think
Yep.
I might get the last two mixed up, but
I think you're right. You could be wrong, but you might be right.
yeah.
I don't
So
remember exactly. It's been a long time since I actually read all of those, but I love every one of them.
yeah, I just feel like it deals with the closest thing I can find to some hard sci-fi concepts. It was the first place I really heard about relativity. And granted,
Mm-hmm.
like read it in friggin' high school, and didn't take other than half a credit of intro to physics, and I still don't have any physics beyond that. But um, yeah, like when I've got a hard sci-fi work that's kind of a work in progress, out in limbo right now for a little bit, that I wish I could talk about more, but can't go into many details. But drew a lot of inspiration from what Orson Scott Card did with the Ender series for that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, I've actually been playing with an idea for a sci-fi that also pulls a lot of inspiration from Ender, and yeah, I think it's an inspiration for a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, you got your classic coming of age, and then your gifted outcast. I mean, and I
Yep,
think that, especially for creative types, that's a character that so many of us can identify
and
with.
it's such a great combination of tropes for a series.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, well, last couple of weeks have been a little weird for me. Lots of things going on and not a whole lot of time, but um, I have a little bit of time at work, and I carry a book around in my bag, and I've been rereading Golden Compass for the first time in about 10 years, a few pages at a time as I get a few minutes. As for watching, I went for a blast from the past and have been watching some classic Steve McQueen / James Garner / Richard Attenborough in the form of The Great Escape from 1963.
Wow.
It's a long one. It's over 3 hours. I don't remember it being that long. But it's so good, and it's taken a couple of sessions to get through it, but it's an excellent movie. Also based on a book.
Yeah, that one's a little more niche for me, but I'm behind on my classic movies here. So
I don't normally go past, I'd say, the mid late 70s for movies, but that's one I'll make an exception for because I just absolutely love that movie.
It's kind of a running joke with all my friends that there's this big pocket of time from like the very late 80s until the late 90s when um I missed all the good movies. I didn't go see them. I was a
Yeah,
single mom. I was poor, right? I couldn't afford anything. I didn't go to movies. Are you kidding me? So they'll be talking about this. I don't know. Just name a classic music movie from that time, and I've never seen it. I never saw Animal House. I never saw, the one with the gopher, whatever his name, with Bill Murray and the gopher.
oh, Grindhouse.
And
Caddyshack.
yeah, Caddyshack. I've never seen. So it's a running joke every time they say, "Oh, I remember this classic movie," and I'm like, I didn't see it.
Right.
So,
Now, growing
but
up, we didn't do theaters, so if I saw it on TV like 2 years late.
I could afford free TV back then, so I know all the TV shows.
Right.
Yeah, I just didn't really like retro stuff when I was younger. So, I mean, kind of late 90s, early 2000s, when I could afford my own tickets and get my butt into the theaters. That's really where I kind of start picking up. And then afterwards, I think I started to go back and I was like, oh, I was going to look at some classical stuff, but
Mm-hmm.
I landed on Universal Monsters. I wanted to see what those were, kind of feeding my horror roots there. So, huge gap. Saw some things from the 80s, but late 80s, early 90s got missed a lot too.
Yeah, I've been playing catch up for the last 15 years, give or take. First movie I ever actually saw in theater was the Star Trek remake with Chris Pine. So,
Wow.
Whoa,
yeah, that was 2009.
Wow.
And
okay.
about 3 or 4 months later, I went and saw the Wolverine. So that was my theater introduction, because just I grew up very religious, and theaters were evil because they're going to change the sign outside the theater and people will think you went to see a porno and whatever. But yeah, I've been doing a
Yeah.
lot of catch up on movies.
Well, good. I love a good story, no matter
Oh
how
yeah,
it's
me
told.
too. I've always loved a good story.
I'm
Um,
still hung up on the porno sign thing. Like I thought,
yeah, right, right. It
and I'm
makes
like,
absolutely zero sense once you understand how theaters work. But apparently that didn't matter when I was growing up. Logic was not a priority, and things got weird. So yeah.
yeah. So you just stayed home and played Dungeons and Dragons instead, like a good Christian.
Oh no, that was evil too. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I stayed home and did a lot of weird redneck stuff in the woods. But anywho,
Anyhow, every week we like to share one sentence from our current works in progress, a single sentence with no context. Then we let you folks know if we're planning on keeping it or if we had to watch our darlings die. Derek, you want to start? Do you have a darlings dead or alive for us?
I've never written a word in my life.
Yeah.
Yes, I have a darling. Of course, I have a darling. This one, no context, but I feel like I need to say this. This is just from a file of random thoughts. It is not part of anything yet, and I don't know if it will be. So it may be dead, it may be alive, who knows? It's just a brain fart that I happen to write down.
Okay.
In the end, it doesn't matter in the slightest whether there be gods or no gods. We each create our own paradise or punishment.
That is very interesting. Have you guys seen the TV show Lucifer?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what the whole punishment was. They made their own punishment.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
What's
I
the? Isn't there like a Sart? I think it's Sartre piece. No exit. Have you guys ever read that?
mm-mm.
Um,
Mm-mm.
yeah, it really interesting short work. And the thesis behind it is basically like hell is other people. So, like, instead of hellfire brimstone, whips and chains, they lock you in a room with 3 or 4 people that uh, just press your buttons for all eternity.
Ugh,
Yeah, that'll work.
gross. Ugh. Um. So I have one,
Yeah, absolutely.
and I may have used this one before. Hope I didn't, but we'll see. Again, this is actually from my. I need to add this most likely maybe to my story file. It's actually not in within the prose. So, nature will always have more to teach science, and science will always have more to teach us in turn.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah. So that was mine.
100%. Eric, what do you have for us?
All right. So I definitely misunderstood the assignment. So being the third person, I'm going to give you a paragraph, but it's a quick one. It says, "Yet I have never prayed. I didn't pray in that moment either. Yet if I were to pray, I'd have prayed for a miracle. Anything short of that, and all hope would be lost."
Ironically, that one actually fits pretty well with mine.
Yeah. Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. I like that.
And mine's the antithesis.
Right.
How dare
Science,
you be hopeful?
trees. Yep. No, that's usually how it works out. We kind of either match each other or contrast each other. So I find that interesting to watch the trend on those and what
We
we
vibe.
find interesting that particular week.
Mm-hmm.
But on to the point of the show and our favorite game. Each week we roll a d20, which helps us randomly choose from our perpetual list of 20 scenarios. And then we talk about how it would affect our made up ad hoc worlds. Are we ready?
Yay.
Let's do it.
All right. I'm on the wrong tab of the spreadsheet. Number 12. What if your book became a Muppet movie? Which Muppets would play your characters?
I love this one. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad we kept it.
I'm not. I absolutely despise the Muppets.
All right.
Oh,
Does it have to
God.
be Muppets? Can I pull Sesame Street? Because I'm like, okay, Vampire World, I can
Pull
do.
your
Oh,
Sesame
they
Street.
count.
That's fine.
Yeah,
Like, yeah,
Sesame Street
that's
counts.
easy.
Yes.
And I'm like, no, that's not the Muppets.
Oh, God.
Ah, that's too
I hate
funny.
you right now. Oh,
That doesn't bother me in the least. I'm okay with that.
you have no idea how much I hate the Muppets.
I know. This is awesome.
You did that just to fuck with me.
I didn't roll your die. You rolled
Yeah,
it.
it's random, and that's the problem. And I thought we took that one out.
You have
All right. Let's just do it before I just hang up and leave.
do the unscrupulous DM thing and just go, oh, wait, I'm sorry. I misread that. It was a.
yeah. Oh,
Which
see,
Star
I'm trying
Wars
to.
characters are your characters?
I put this question in there, and I never took the time to think about the answer. So,
So you're on the hook too. Okay.
I am totally on the hook as well. I'm trying to find the name of the one with the long blonde hair. Her eyes are closed. She's got big lips. Oh, what is her name?
Eyes
Ah,
closed, big lips.
yeah, big. I'm googling now. I'm googling.
Janice.
Janice. Okay.
I have a list of all the Muppets with pictures.
The list I had didn't have Janice on it, so. So.
I was gonna say, can you help a brother cheat and ping that over to me? Oh, there we
Yeah,
go.
he pinged. There you go. Yep.
Done.
Yep. Okay. So, I'm going to say that Janice comes close to my sidekick, Deandra. I know she's not a main character in the Muppet movies, but she comes close. She's good. I guess Anisha would have to be Miss Piggy with a wig. Miss
How
Piggy
did I
has
know
to
that
go
was
brunette.
coming?
I mean, who else?
The hell if I know.
But I don't know how you make Miss Piggy like unsure of herself in the beginning of the movie, and then at the end of the movie, or she's
Yolanda,
Yolanda.
Rizzo's girlfriend.
No, this is harder than I thought it would be. This is like this is so fun, putting the question out there, but it's not.
Eric, I'm so
easy.
sorry.
No, it's fine. It's like the limited thing here. I'm looking at the list. I'm gonna go like my protagonist is Sam the Eagle.
Oh,
Hard-nosed censor, obsessive patriot, and just the eyes where it's that I'm, like he's the only brooding Muppet character. So I needed somebody brooding. So
that's fair.
I like
That is absolutely fair. I think in my case, I have no idea who I would cast as Anara because it just ain't working for me. Best bet's gonna be Miss Piggy again, but at the same time, not.
Not. Yep.
Very much not.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to nail that level of obnoxious that Miss Piggy just
Yes.
Yeah.
can't.
But
I
okay,
mean,
if you can
honestly,
ignore
Piggy would make a
can you
better
ignore
villain.
gender?
Oh, I could totally put her as one of my villains. Yeah.
Miss Piggy?
Oh yeah, yeah. No,
For
Yeah.
sure.
Uh, you
yeah.
know, so if I think about my main villain, who would be this person?
I mean, yeah.
Now I'm picturing Miss Piggy as a narcissistic assassin,
Oh,
and
I
that
mean,
seems appropriate.
I'll never get that out of my
I
brain.
could cast a Bond movie out of this easier than I could cast my books.
yeah.
Yep.
Although I do love Miss Piggy as my villain too. Sorry. She
Yeah.
fits so easy.
Sweetums would have to be the Minotaur.
Yeah.
Grimar.
Yep. Greymar, yep.
Yep.
I
Have
can
to be. Let's see. I don't know why, but I kind of see Gonzo as Dravos.
Oh.
Yeah. Dr. Phil is very clearly Adonius. Or Honeydew. One of the two. Bunsen Honeydew or Dr. Phil as Adonius.
I mean, what if we bring in the Sesame Street characters?
Oh gosh. Now I have to open a new tab, damn you.
I'm so sorry to make you do this. Not really, but yeah. So Elmo is Phinia in my book. Phinia. Too cute, you know. Yeah, Phinia is definitely. I still haven't found Inara though. Someone that fits Inara real well.
Me neither.
Not Inara, Anisha. Sorry.
Well, I haven't found anyone that fits Inara well either.
Yeah.
Maybe Prairie Dawn from Sesame Street because she's a little unsure of herself. But then again, that the unsure goes away real quick. So
Goes away quick. Yeah. Who is she at the end of the book? End of the series.
at the end of the series, oh god. Abby Cadabby, maybe.
Who
With a
else
lot
you
more
got for
weight
you,
on your
Eric?
shoulders.
Eric, you got anything else?
I was kind of thinking that I got a researcher team that could be Elmo and Gonzo if you gender swapped one of them, and then I'm
Perfect.
just sort of like, which. And then I got hung up on the thing was like, okay, if I was going to gender swap, which one would I gender swap? And I honestly don't have an answer for you. Not as big into Sesame Street or Muppets. Sorry.
I mean, either.
Okay. I think that I'm going to give Anisha. I'm gonna make her Kermit the Frog.
Here you go.
Oh, Christina, why do
Yep.
you hate me?
Yeah. Yep. She's totally Kermit. Yeah.
Well, Eric,
Yep.
Count Von Count is an obvious choice for a vampire.
Oh yeah, I think I'm gonna make him like my primary antagonist, though. Just somebody
for
that's
sure.
little unhinged, just obsessed with something, and then your stereotypical like
And
vampire.
so is Oscar the Grouch. He's
Yeah, if we were in Sesame Street, I might have picked him as like my protagonist character because the first book he is just like really really broody, lightens up a lot, fairly quickly, but give your character a nice arc. Poor Oscar, he never gets to expand. He never gets to get rid of the grouchiness.
With some slight modification, Johnny Fiamma might make a decent Tiarsis.
Johnny. Which one's that?
He's a spoof on Frank Sinatra.
Oh, right. I see him. Okay. Yep.
He could make a decent Tiarsis.
Yep. I love this.
Yeah.
So
Um,
made. Go ahead. Go ahead.
one of the hecklers would just pick one. Would probably work for Iris with a gender swap. They just would
Hmm.
have to not talk because she's mostly mute. But yeah, this is a lot harder than you thought it would be, isn't it?
Yeah, which is perfect. So I'm gonna actually change my bad guy to Sam the Eagle.
Okay. Okay.
The one liner here that it describes him is the hard nosed censor and obsessive patriot, and Nikolai believes, you know, he absolutely believes he knows the right way to do everything and the proper way to do everything. So
Yep.
yeah,
Fair. Fair.
yep,
I don't know if y'all can hear this. This is me pouring more liquor because fuck you,
this is
Crystal.
hard. Yeah. Oh, this is
Uh,
interesting. So we all choose a villain, our villain and our protagonist.
which villain am I using? Am I using Nalathria or Anton? Which nobody's met Anton yet, but
Well, nobody's met Nikolai yet, so
Well, then do the one everybody knows and loves. Come on.
okay, then it's obviously a goth Miss Piggy.
ooh yes. Okay, so you got Miss Piggy. Gotcha. I'm writing
Mm-hmm.
this down.
Evil Miss
Miss
Piggy.
Evil Miss Piggy for your bad guy. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And did you choose an Aura yet?
No, I can't find a good option.
Mm,
It doesn't help that I don't really know half of these characters because I hate the Muppets so much.
So what I feel like an
well,
exercise like this, you can't be too princessy about it, right? Where it's like, yeah, that kind of fits.
yeah.
Right. Oh, let's see.
Well, she's definitely not an Elmo. She's not
No.
a Cookie Monster. Okay. She's not
Yeah.
a Burton
I'm
Irving.
gonna give her to Prairie Dawn or Betty Lou, one of the two.
Okay.
Maybe Rosita.
I like Prairie Dawn. That might fit
Yeah.
at the beginning of the story.
Yes. At the
Yeah.
end of the story, I have no freaking idea.
All right. So, Eric, what about you? What's your evil person?
Wow, man, I'm still really sticking with the count there. Needed somebody a
Perfect.
little crazy. So
Perfect. And your protagonist.
my protagonist, I'm gonna stick with Sam the Eagle.
Yeah. We both have the same pro tag. Yeah. I just no. Your pro tag is my bad guy.
I
Yeah.
was I was gonna say that, but I didn't want to correct.
No, you need to correct me because I get screwed up all the time, messed up. Ask everybody. I always get messed up. Um,
And I'm gonna
and
give
who?
Thalen to Grover.
Oh, interesting. I like that. I like Grover as Thalen. I
You
mean,
know?
Thalen as Grover. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna give
Yeah.
Thalen to Grover.
And okay, so let me go back there. So Eric said that he likes the Count because he's a little unhinged. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why you picked Sam, the eagle for your pro tag.
uh, Broody and duty driven.
Nice. Okay. And the reason you chose Miss Piggy as your villain there, Derek?
Total diva.
Yeah. An evil diva.
Mm-hmm. And
Um,
keep in mind, it's a goth Miss Piggy.
g- not evil Miss Piggy, goth Miss Piggy.
Oh
Got
yeah,
it.
very goth, bordering on evil.
Mm. And the reason we chose, because I agree with you, Prairie Dawn, is because she's just sweet,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Interesting. And I chose Sam as my villain because he has such a hard view of the world, a very distinct view of how the world should be. And Inara, I chose Kermit the Frog because she she lacks confidence, even though she does a lot and is capable. She still lacks so much confidence, which is like Kermit.
Mm-hmm.
He's always wondering if he's doing the right thing. Well, see, that wasn't so hard.
Yes, it was. Don't lie. You lie,
I,
and the truth is not in you.
I mean, if you're struggling and it's an open book exam, that's kind of the definition of hard, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
so I enjoyed this not because so much it's just the Muppets, because it really made us think about how our characters can be perceived, by others, or how we can, match the actor.
Mm-hmm.
It really made us stop and think. I mean, there wasn't a moment where we're all like, oh yeah, this is, we're just going to do it. This matches it. And we all came up with an answer.
Yeah, well, here's another one for you. Remember Raven from book one? Rizzo.
Rizzo. Totally. Totally. Yeah.
He just says whatever's
like
on his
that.
mind and doesn't think about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love that. I mean, I can look at here and I can see I definitely have a Scooter in my book. I definitely have an Elmo in my book.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a Fozzie Bear. I need a Fozzie Bear, somebody that's always funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of struggle with the comedic relief thing. I mean, snark I can do, but
Yep.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Raven was my comedic relief for book one, and then story events decided to remove him from things. So I had to rethink my comedic relief. It ended up being Thalen. So
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about the old men in the
The
balcony?
hecklers.
Yeah.
I cast one of them. I cast one of them as Iris.
Iris, that's right. You
without
said that.
talking.
You said heckler, and I didn't know what you meant, so now I get it. Yeah.
Yep, one of the old men.
Yeah, I think I myself, as the author, am the heckler for my story.
Ah, that's awesome.
It's our job. We got to beat our characters into submission.
Yeah. Well, that question didn't last very long.
I'm okay with that.
Well, yeah. That's a nice way to end the show. Although I'm just sitting there thinking I need a Snuffleupagus, a character that actually I would say that's my goddess. Nobody else can ever sees my goddess except for Aniksha, that one or two times, right? And it gives her wise advice, but no one else ever sees them. So,
well, if I get into book 3, my new villain is probably Bobo the bear, but smarter. Mm-hmm. Yep. A smarter version of Bobo the bear.
I mean, are we okay with this, or do we need to do another question? We're good?
I'm good.
I'm definitely good.
My brain is fried after that. I'm done. I'm done. I'm ready to stop talking to you for a few days.
You'll forgive me sooner or later.
Yeah, give it a week or two.
Give it a week or two. So, that was fun. But before we go, Eric, would you like to do a shameless plug for any of whatever you're doing your Mithril series or anything like that?
Yeah, sure. So you can find my Chronicles of Nethris series on pretty much anywhere that ebooks are published. Amazon, Barnes and Noble, are the big ones. Kobo, if you're European, but publish everywhere that I can with that. First book is called Starspire. Be sure to check it out. And then if you want to check out the urban fantasy series, it's called The Dark Council's Blade, and it is currently published exclusively on the Mithril, MYTHRILL, so 2 L's app. Yeah, go ahead and check it out. I think the first season's entirely free, and the monetization on the Mithril app's pretty loose. So you can, if you take your time, you can pretty much get the whole thing for free.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, you're not the first Mithril author we've had on the show, so
that could be a sequel episode. You could just get all of us Mithril authors on there and start.
Hell yeah,
riffing.
Yeah,
we're up for it.
All right. Xtina, where can folks find you on the interwebs?
My website is uniquelyxtina.com, and I can be found on just about all the socials as uniquelyxtina, and I'm hoping to get busier and busier on the Clock app. What about you, Derek?
My website is DerekHallAuthor.com, but you can also find me as DHallAuthor on the Clock app and just about anywhere else. Eric, where do we find you?
You can find my link tree at linktr.ee/ER Donaldson. And you can also just check out my publishing company's website, mythicnorthpress.com.
If you're an author, newbie or not, and would like to be on our show, we would love to have you. We might not give you as much trouble as we gave Eric, but we'd like you. So please go visit our website, whatifsouthisup.com, and leave us a message, or you can find us on Facebook and message us there.
Or if Christina has her way, we'll give you more trouble.
It's fun.
For you. If you're an author, newbie or not, and would like to be on our show, we would love to have you. You can let us know by going to our website, whatifsouthisup.com, and leaving us a message, or you can find us on Facebook and message us there.
That was fun. You guys did good.
I can't say that was fun, but that was something. So we will catch you guys next time on What If South is Up.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, guys.
Absolutely.
You are a good sport.
On the show.
What a good sport.
You got the weird one. Maybe we'll try again later and do something normal.
All right.